I'm really sick and tired of Top Guy JJ. He's always on here ranting, saying all of his BS, talking all loud, talking over me all the time. There's a lot of things I don't like about Top Guy JJ. He's always got to have the cooler shirt than me, all this cool gear, matching all the time, all this great sneakers. He's just a try hard. But you know what I hate most about you? You're just old.
Yeah, I had to, be petty real quick and just get that piece of shit off the screen. At least I don't use hymns for men. I don't need to use hymns to perform. I don't need to use shit to color my hair. And I embrace my age. See these little grays flaking out? The whole sides is gray. I'm embracing the clippers. I'm just saying. Old people, we go through midlife crises all the time. That's all we do is go through midlife crisis. So all we're going to do is say ridiculous shit all the time. And guess what? We don't give a fuck because I'm old and I fucking love it. So,
hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hi, I'm the ballsy badass Shotzi Blackheart, and you're watching True Heel Heat.
Rob Van Dam, listen to True Heel Heat. Pow!
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for Rated Raw Review number 112 on a Warpath, reviewing last night's March 23rd, 2026 edition of Monday Night Raw as only we can. And to do that, This old man will be joined by another old man and two old men that don't overcompensate for being old men by putting Just for Men in their beards. He is our resident shoe collector, our resident candle maker, and our resident true heel alcoholic himself, Top Guy JJ. That right hand hurt me a little bit, but it's okay. Still love you.
I mean,
how you doing?
That's what you get for calling me an old alcoholic. I've given up that life a long time ago, and it's still a part of my headline. So I had to punch you in the face to kind of jog some sense into your old getting self, because you're getting old. You're not quite old yet. There isn't a 4 before your numbers yet, so you still got a little bit of time left before you start to get into the considered old territory, you know. But just had to peg you down a little bit, like jog some sense into you. Hope you're doing okay.
I'm a little dizzy. I laughed at you because I'm getting in your head. I'm in your head. I'm in your head. I'm in your head.
At least not. I don't need no help. At least I'm not the one that needs help.
Yo, what happened to our great WrestleMania build? What happened to that promo? Remember that first promo we were praising so much? What happened, JJ? What happened?
Midlife crisis. This WrestleMania build has gone through a midlife crisis.
It really feels like that. It really feels like that. That is the most factual statement that I have heard as the description to this build to WrestleMania. It's just a whole bunch of midlife crisis. Triple H is having a midlife crisis booking this. You got 4 main eventers who are all going through midlife crises, all in different stages of their 40s.
And then someone else on the show is spitting false facts, talking about they're in the main event of WrestleMania. No, you're not. Like, yo, this episode is just a midlife crisis.
You got freaking dudes in their 50s who are talking about females getting married or sleeping with half the locker room just to get under somebody's skin. They're doing arrest angles to try to get heat on programs. Yeah, this. What happened? Like we started off this build to WrestleMania with one of the best promo exchanges in a very long time, and we feel so far removed from it.
You know the best thing about this show? The best thing about this show is that it was so many laughing moments that this turned into one of those bad good shows for me.
I wasn't entertained. I'll have that.
This is one of those bad good shows.
Held down bad. Triple H. Oh, man. But we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out a lot. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Remember to sound off in the comment section if you're watching us on demand. We love to keep the conversation going down there, and you could give your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week and the build to WrestleMania 42. And if you are with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you. Hear your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What did you think about the final segment, the latest segment between CM Punk and Roman Reigns? What did you think about Femi and Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, Becky Lynch, and AJ Lee, and any of the matches going on this week's show? We want to hear from all of y'all in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. Like from our good brother Vala. Thank you so much, Vala, for the support, good brother. He says, I brought this up earlier with SP3, but the whole Punk versus Roman feud reeks of dog shit politics, and it's making both camps look like incoherent bums. I also, and thank you for that comment, because it is true. It does feel like a lot of politics is at hand with the build to this show, and neither guy want to make the other look that good. That's why you have Punk last week, who drops Roman, the first kind of physicality between the two guys, and Roman laughs it off. Roman came across like he got the better of that situation, even though earlier in the show he laughed at the notion of CM Punk beating him up, but CM Punk punched him and Roman had no response and basically laughed it off, saying, I'm in his head. And then Roman totally murks Punk in a way in this final segment on this show, and Punk laughs at him because he says Roman needed help and he didn't need help. So it seems like neither guy want to put over the other in the build to this show.
I'm kind of lost for words with how well when we get there, but my God, like, you're talking about ego maniacs on steroids right now. Like, yo, this is like Hulk Hogan fighting himself right now.
This is like Hulk Hogan versus Triple H in like the year 2000.
Like, holy hell! It was on everyone's bingo card for someone to get their ass absolutely handed to them, and then to laugh it off at the end of the show and hear him talking in the background. Like that is absolutely what we all predicted, Yeah, so clearly nothing means anything at this point.
No. And I also been saying this a lot. I said it to the guys, the homies, Seth and Alex earlier today. I was just like, these two came off like, and we said this when we first watched that first promo exchange that they had when they made the matchup for WrestleMania with Punk and Roman. We said that Roman looked cooler than Punk in that situation, but those two guys came off as like the two biggest megastars and two cool megastars that hated each other. And you could see people who would favor Punk and his argument, and you could see people who favored Roman and his argument there. And it seems like every promo exchange, every exchange that they've had since then has made each of them look less cooler.
Just a quick reminder, WrestleMania 41 was last year. So yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know what happened to this. But they're clearly pushing them as the night 2 main event. So
Yeah.
that they're clearly pushing this as the last thing to happen for WrestleMania weekend. This is the story. They're clearly riding on its coattails, and it literally feels like they're going just week to week with what they're going to do, how they're going to, because none of these behaviors are aligning from week to week. None of them are aligning week to week. Like, why was Roman mad all of a sudden?
Because Jey Uso told them to be mad.
Like, yo, midlife crisis. Like, you were so chill and cool and calm, and yo, it's literally like this jigsaw puzzle of episodes would have been so good if they were just in different order.
Yeah. I said this earlier on in the weeds. I was like, if last week's segment was the second segment
last night.
No. If last week with the old comment was the second segment after the first one, and then you put the dead father one. No, you did the dead father one next. That's the next. That should be third in this line of because Punk got called old, so Punk goes to family, and he brings up the dead father. Then you do the Uso segment, and then you do last night's segment. I think that everybody would feel a lot better, and it would be a kind of a reasonable like escalation of attitude as far as like anger and aggression and physicality. It would have made more sense that way than the way that we are actually living in.
And I'm going off the dialogue of what's happening, and I'm like, if last week happened last night, and last night happened 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't be as, because I'm okay. So after Punk calls Roman old, so I'm going to try not to move that. So if Punk calls Roman old and Roman leaves.
No, Roman calls Punk old.
Roman calls Punk old. I mean, whatever. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Let's back up a little bit. After Punk says what he says about his father, and then Roman comes out and absolutely annihilates him the following week.
Yes.
And then the following week, the Usos come out demanding the apology. And then last week's episode, where Roman is now in Punk's head and pisses Punk off and calls him a shell of, like, you know, he's bigger than him. He showed that he's bigger than him. He's faster than him. He showed that he's faster than him. He's better than Punk, which he showed last night. If that would have happened a couple weeks ago, and then Roman calls Punk old like last night, and then Punk has that kind of reaction, and then Roman laughs at his punch, it might have felt a little different. But this is just in such, like, this is just like episode 1 is in episode 3, episode 4 is episode 2, episode 3 is episode 5. It's you're not watching this feud in chronological order. You're watching this shit in shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel like this is a coherent story that goes from point A to point B to point C to point D. It went from point A, where point A gave you everything that should have been spread out throughout points B, D, C, D, and E. They gave you everything in point A. Then they had to change it up and escalate it even further in point B. And then everything else has just come off so discombobulated ever since then. And it's telling with the kind of the what I'm seeing from the reception online and in our chat today in regards to this whole story. But we got another super chat donation here from our boy Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, could someone please tell me why Roman needs Jey to hype him up to smash CM Punk? Why didn't Jey just fight Punk his damn self instead of instigator playing? Well, he tried and then he got snuffed. If you're talking about Jey, why did Jey not fight Punk himself? He got snuffed immediately.
That might have been the only thing I liked about it. Is that it's to a degree, is Jey reminded, and this, I said this shit last week, is Jey reminded Roman who the hell he is.
Mm-hmm.
And this cool, I hated that cool, calm, and collected Roman after what Punk said to him. Roman should have been in this mode last night, 3 weeks ago. And then Roman could have eased off 2 weeks ago and then got in Punk's head. And then it's like 2 weeks ago. I'm not getting the pieces in order, but if I go through 1 through 5, because it's apparently 5 segments that's taken place between them so far, you could pick.
If you're counting the Uso segment too.
The only one that's in order is 1.
Yeah.
Everything else is out of order.
Yes. Because we said that automatically, and we brought this up even after the first promo where they gave us so much of it. Like they talked about the podcast, they talked about the Wise Man and Punk taking Paul Heyman from Roman Reigns. They talked about Roman's history on top and Punk's history on top, the Shield stuff. They brought it all there, but the essence of that first promo was these two big megastars, the two biggest stars in the company. Yeah, they shitted on Drew McIntyre and the WWE title and SmackDown during that promo as well. But the essence of it, the story that they told, was these two mega stars who hated each other are now doing battle for the World Heavyweight Championship. And now they have stripped down that to the mental edge. Who has the mental edge? Who's in whose head? Ooh, that's an interesting story. That's the story that we told literally at the last pay-per-view with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. We did that with CM Punk and Finn Balor as well. We're doing that again now with Punk and Roman Reigns, when more people were interested in these two megastars that actually hated each other, instead of doing the, oh, I'm playing mind games. You beat me up, but I won mentally. Trash. We got another super chat donation here from Vala. Thank you so much, Vala, for the support. He says, channeling their inner Mike Gundy. I'm a man. I'm 40. Precisely that. We also got here. We got Parjar.
I just had to type the order of what I think actually happened in segments, and I'm just gonna put it in the chat.
Okay. JJ says, 1, I hate you. 2, bury you next to your dad. 3, Usos demanding apology. 4, your old. 5, Tribal Chief smashes Roman. That's the order that actually happened. The order that I think.
I meant to.
No, I think the order that should have happened.
That's what I'm saying. That's the order that happened.
Yeah, the order that it should have happened is 1, I hate you. 2, you're old. 3, bury you next to your dad. Then 4, Usos demand apology. And then 5, Tribal Chief comes back and he smashes Punk.
See how like 2 through 4 is just so out of place.
It's 2 through 4 is the one that is out of order here. It's 1 and 5 are perfect where they are. It's the middle portion that has messed up this story.
And that's the story in a nutshell. So if you put it in order in what should have happened, this wouldn't be too bad. But god damn, it's like they're throwing curveballs. They're throwing too many curveballs, and none of them is aligning to what's going to happen the following week.
Exactly. It's just messed things up completely for me. We got in the chat Dion, who says both of these guys can't be laughing everything off, thinking that they're too cool. Say what y'all will about Triple H, but when people would insult him or Steph, he would sell the anger. That is true. It's the same thing with like The Rock and Austin. Rock and Austin, they built the greatest kind of babyface versus babyface WrestleMania main event of all time. And it was all just really kind of like attacks. It was they went through like a couple of weeks where it was Austin hitting the rock bottom on The Rock and Rock hitting the stunner on Austin. And that like drew things to get more intense and heated by the time we get to WrestleMania. That's why we get the meeting in the middle of the ring where they're slamming the beer cans against one another, and then they get the sit down interview with Jim Ross. That is how you build two guys up where they're the coolest, the biggest stars on the show, but you get across both guys want to be the best, and because of that they hate each other. This is Triple H's version of it, and it's not really working. It's not really hitting like that from that perspective to me.
Because they're both being too cool about it. They've gone too deep and the only one that's playing his role as he should is Jey Uso. Jey Uso seems to be the only mad one here.
Yeah.
And Jimmy is a wordsmith. Jimmy is great. But when the fuck are you going to actually get upset?
He's trying to play peacemaker with everybody.
Yeah, he's been cool about this for the entire build. Like, he jumps in when necessary just to get dropped. And then nothing. Like, Jimmy should want to put hands on Punk next week. But that ain't going to happen because Jimmy's going to be the cool one.
Mm-hmm. He's got to be the peacemaker in all this.
Oh, it's convoluted, but not in a good way.
We got another super chat donation here from Dion. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says, what is your number one WrestleMania match do you feel didn't live up to the build? I would say Triple H Orton WrestleMania 25. Great build, but lackluster match. That's a good question. Oh, thank you. Oh, look at this. She made a collage of her pictures that she's taken. Polaroid pictures. Thank you.
Dope. Hi, Harlem.
Say hi, JJ.
Hi, JJ. I made the photo.
I love the photo. That is awesome. That is actually really cool. Yeah, hang that up.
Absolutely, for sure. Thank you guys in the chat. Thank you, JJ. But answer this question: what do you think? The number one WrestleMania match that didn't live up to the build.
I'm gonna go really old on this one. As you know, I'm an old human. The Mega Powers Explode.
Ooh, I like the matchup though.
Yeah.
It's not an all-timer, but I like the matchup.
Yeah. I guess I'm still bitter that Hogan won the shit, but
fair.
Yeah,
that is fair. That's fair.
That's mine.
That's fair. I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to go through all the different WrestleMania.
But that one is really good though. That's
Triple H and Orton. Yeah, that's like Exhibit A when you think about it.
That was blood war right there. And then these niggas had a wrestling match.
Yeah. I'm thinking like recently. I'm gonna say Cody and John Cena from last year. Because I thought the build, it wasn't perfect, but I just remember how it felt in London when I was there, and they had that promo exchange where Cody's dropping these gems about the Vince being in love with Cena, and Cena's dropping the gems about him taking money from a billionaire's son, and like that felt like peak. And they had some really good segments as it got closer to Mania, and then it just felt like a letdown when we got to Mania.
You see, and the only reason why I won't put that there is because unfortunately they did that on purpose. Like, it's literally like he had that bad match on purpose. So it's like, yeah, it was absolute trash, but he literally tried to play this character that didn't try.
No.
So it was almost expected with the whole bullshit, I'm gonna ruin wrestling angle and shit like that. But it doesn't excuse it. But it's like he actually built to that garbage that he delivered.
I got it. I got one that's even better than Triple H and Orton. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 20.
Oh, I love that match.
You love that match? I'm talking about Wrestle. I'm not talking about the second one. I'm talking about the first one.
About WrestleMania 20. And the reason why I loved it is how the fans hated both of them. The fans hated both of them. The Garden got ugly for that match. And that's why I loved it. Because the fans could give two fucks about either dude in the ring. That was magical right there. And then, of course, it led to a shit show of a match. But oh my god, that I love that. The crowd hated both those niggas. You sold out and the the goodbyes and that shit was magical.
They cheered the referee Austin.
Everything. The non-wrestler Stone Cold got the biggest reaction of these two having a match. I mean, he gets the biggest reaction anywhere he goes, but even Stone Cold couldn't save that shit show.
No. WrestleMania 8 with Hogan and Sid Vicious. That's a good shout. I disagree with this one. Mr. Talent says Eddie and Kurt Angle. Eddie and Kurt Angle, it didn't get set up the best way, but I thought the matchup delivered. That was one of the best matches on that show, probably second behind the triple threat with Benoit, Angle, Benoit, HBK, and Triple H. Ace says AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. That was a case of the build was not good. The build was them being a tag team, Y2 AJ, and then out of nowhere they lose to the New Day, and then they turn on each other, and then that sets up the matchup. You could say you thought that the matchup was going to be better. That's fair, but I don't think the build was that great.
All right, let's not change the question, guys.
Yeah.
The question was, what WrestleMania match had the best build but had the worst match?
This is a good shout from King Greg, AJ and Nakamura.
That's a good yes.
Yeah.
Because I think when Nakamura picked AJ Styles, I think the wrestling world had an orgasm.
Yes. We were in the building in Philly when he says AJ Styles
for this match. And this match was not great.
No.
It was not great at all.
That show peaks with Bryan Danielson's entrance for his matchup.
And the fact that they had a better match on Friday Night SmackDown before AJ retired than their WrestleMania match says a lot. Because mind you, that was 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm. We got Annika who says the women's triple threat with Becky, Flair, and Ronda. I never liked that build. I like the go home segment when they're all getting arrested and they're fighting in the cop cars and stuff, but the build was so convoluted. Remember? Charlotte Flair.
The way she just got put into the match.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that build was not good.
She just got announced into the match.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good shouts on not too good matches, but I think you gotta realize you gotta put the build was really good. You was really anticipating this match.
Yeah.
And then you get the match.
Yeah. Mr. Town saying Big Show and Mayweather count? No, because the build was actually good and then the match was good. That's one of the better celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the better celebrity WrestleMania matches. And then the build is Mayweather bloodying Big Show at No Way Out 2008. And then they realized this was a rare case of WWE realizing what the crowd wanted, because they originally wanted Mayweather to be the babyface against Big Show. But then when Mayweather makes his first appearance and gets booed out the building, they reverse course quickly and they made Big Show the babyface and Mayweather the heel. So they listened to the crowd. They adjusted well. The build was good and solid. And then the match was good and solid. So I don't think that counts.
People got what they wanted. Floyd Mayweather took a beating in that match. So he took a wrestling version of a beating.
Yeah. Y'all can mention more in the chat. We'll try to highlight those in the chat as y'all go along. The more y'all think about it, I know we'll come up with some even better ones than that. But let's get into the show. what did you think about last night's show's crowd in Boston, Massachusetts, TD Garden Arena? What did you think?
They were good. They were solid. I mean, there's certain towns that you just know the crowds are going to show up. Boston was into a lot. So Boston was into a lot of shit. So I would, they're usually very passionate fans, even though, they're our like state rivals, but they're some very passionate motherfuckers.
Speaking of which, Sergio saying I'm biased, but Boston sucks.
Yeah, you see, honestly, I don't know how old Sergio is, but if he's younger than I am, I would probably have those same feelings maybe 10 years ago. But like, why? Boston is so beneath. They're so beneath New York.
Yeah.
Except in basketball.
Ace saying Charlotte versus Rhea. That's the reverse, Ace. That's the reverse of bad build, great matchup. Because Charlotte versus Rhea both times, I think like the first time the build was fine, it was whatever, it was the pandemic WrestleMania, but the match at Mania, that was one of the best matches at WrestleMania 36, and then the second time at WrestleMania 39, that build was fucking trash, and then the match stole the show pretty much to a lot of people. They think that that's the best matchup on night one of WrestleMania 39, so I can't say that one either. But yes, let's get into last night's Monday Night Raw. We see the Judgment Day walking. We see Bayley and Lyra walking. We see the Usos walking. We see Javon Evans walking, and he's greeted by IshowSpeed in the TD Garden. There was a very dramatic recap of last week's opening segment with Femi laying out Brock Lesnar, and out comes the Beast Incarnate, accompanied to the ring by his advocate, Paul Heyman. He entered with a new t-shirt that reads FAF5, a reference to Heyman's promo last week. Heyman was well-dressed and no longer disheveled like he was last week either. Lesnar was greeted with chants of Oba, Oba, Oba. Heyman ran down Brock's resume, which received more chants of Oba. He says that he is a former WWE champion, a former NCAA heavyweight champion, a former UFC heavyweight champion. Heyman says that the fans were pissing off Lesnar with all those Oba chants. If we were being honest about last week, Lesnar beat up 20 masked men on his own. He was distracted by Seth Rollins, and only then did the overhyped Oba Femi take advantage. Heyman says that we've heard this narrative so many different times. He says this new opponent of Lesnar would be the next big thing, the Conqueror's Conqueror. But ever since Lesnar conquered The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, no one has taken him down. He says The Undertaker never got his revenge. I was actually in the building when Undertaker beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2015, so I don't know what he's talking about there. And then he says there was a line of guys who were supposed to beat the one in 21-1 after that. He said Goldberg was supposed to do it. No cheer. He said Braun Strowman was supposed to do it. No. And then it was Dean Ambrose who was supposed to do it. Big pop. Yay, Dean Ambrose, yeah. That was hilarious. The AEW guy getting the biggest pop out of all these names was hilarious.
Dean Ambrose is dead.
Bobby Lashley was supposed to do it. No. It was AJ Styles or even John Cena. None of them could do it. And Oba Femi wouldn't either. Femi already had his moment when he put his foot on Lesnar's chest and pointed at the sign. That would be the biggest moment of Femi's career because he would be victimized and conquered at WrestleMania. Heyman drops the mic, but then the lights cut out and we hear doom, 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 doom,
Who?
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 doom, 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 doom.
Oba! Oba! Oba!
Oba
Oh,
Femi
the
made
aura
his
is
way.
real, bruh.
Made his way to the ring. Heyman bailed before Oba went face to face with Brock Lesnar in the ring. Lesnar gets close to Femi. He kicks him in the gut. He picks him up on his shoulder looking for the F5, but Femi is able to slip out. He then pushes Lesnar towards the rope and immediately clotheslines Brock big ass over the top rope to the floor. Lesnar taking this crazy bump out of the ring, and then he just gives the most awesome reaction look where he looks absolutely stunned and shocked that Femi got the better of him in back-to-back weeks. We get the crowd loudly chanting, Oba, Oba.
Hell yeah.
Lesnar backed away as Femi stared him down. Lesnar yelled, "You ain't that lucky, boy!" And he smiled as he backed up the aisle. This was a tremendous follow-up to last week. Last week was a 5-star angle. This was a nice little 4-star follow-up with Lesnar once again getting dropped by Oba Femi back-to-back weeks. Later on in the show, they replayed this a couple of different times throughout the show, and they also gave us a tale of the tape between the two men, and Oba Femi stacks up very nicely next to Brock Lesnar. He has the height advantage, the weight advantage. Brock has a very small reach advantage. He has a chest advantage as well, but the shoe size of Oba outmatches even Brock, and then their accolades as well at the bottom. This is being built up to be a battle of the behemoths, but back-to-back weeks, regardless of what you want to say about Brock Lesnar, and there's a lot to say about Brock Lesnar and what he's been accused of, and if you hate Brock Lesnar because of that, I don't blame you. You should hate Brock Lesnar because of the disgusting allegations that are against him. But god damn, you can't tell me nothing about Brock Lesnar, the pro wrestler. When he wants to put someone over and make them feel like a threat to him, he knows how to do it, and he has done it back-to-back weeks with Oba Femi. This was a great opening segment. What did you think?
Oh, this was awesome. And guys, don't get too paranoid yet about Oba losing. Brock's going over. There's still 3 more weeks left. Brock's gonna get his lick back. Best believe it. There's gonna be one of these weeks where Oba gets dropped. Yeah. Oba will get dropped before WrestleMania. So relax. This is attempting to build a superstar. And fuck. This man is doing an incredible job of doing so. Right now, Oba Femi is feeling like our Black Panther. Wakanda forever. He is our Black Panther. He's our Black Panther. And guess what? The Black Panther gets dropped a couple times too. But in his rise, we see why he is the king of Wakanda. Relax with this. Oh, he's gotten over Brock twice, so he's definitely losing. Chill. If this was the go-home show to WrestleMania, you'd have a lot more stake. You have a lot more there in your argument. But relax. Look, the one thing that we actually should have is hope for this to work out the way it should. Because if we already assume, we already assume the worst with this place. Y'all, or whoever it is, ain't gonna take this one glimmer of hope away from me. You're not gonna fucking do it. You're not gonna fucking do it. This is literally The glimmer of hope that I have for this show is for that man to become a star in a star-making match against Brock Lesnar.
I can see that. We got Dion who says this may be an unpopular opinion, but I would like to see Oba just walk out normally. His entrance is a microcosm of the overproduction of current WWE, where you have to come out and hit your entrance beat for beat, even when coming out for a fight. Like Austin would sometimes just come out and toss the title away and start throwing hands. No, Austin either ran to the ring or he had the swagger walk. This is just Oba's swagger walk. I don't think it's anything that he has to change, honestly.
Dion, you know we love you.
Yeah.
But there's not a chance in hell that's happening. All those motherfucking kids strutting like Oba. Do you see all those motherfucking kids? That man is a superstar right now. That man is going to walk like that until someone whips his ass to a point where it becomes personal to him.
Yeah.
Right now, Oba is on the highest of highs. Why he gonna come out mad? That man hit the biggest fall from grace of his life last week. Why is he gonna be mad? He got the biggest match of his life announced last week. Why is he gonna come out mad? He's put his foot on Brock Lesnar's chest last week. Why is he gonna be mad? The only way he would do anything normal is if he is upset over something or of something that was done to him the prior week. It ain't happening. Not when you saw all the kids in the camera shot. Not with all the kids now. The kids is doing it. Oh, it's over. That is a requirement of Oba Femi's entrances going forward. Even grown-ups are doing that shit.
Exactly. Like if it's working for her, like I do agree with like the Rhea Ripley of it all. Rhea Ripley hitting the stomp to the beat of her music, even when coming out for a fight. That's kind of silly. But I like Oba Femi. Oba Femi has a sense of aura to his entrance right now, where he has no fear. He comes out like a badass. He comes out like the king, the ruler that he is, and he comes out and he wrecks shop every single time. Don't break. You don't have to fix something that's not broken.
His name is the ruler. The ruler is coming out. Like, you don't want that nigga doing anything generic.
But this right here wasn't a brawl or anything. It was him coming out the same way that he did last week. Last week he accepted the challenge. This week Brock was talking all that crap, saying that he's overhyped, and he just came out the same way, got the better of him again. I don't think you need to fix something that isn't broken. If he's coming out and trying to make the save for somebody and he's doing that entrance, then maybe we can have this conversation again. But for now, I think you're trying to fix something that ain't broken.
Oh, and it's perfect right now. It's actually that fine crafted piece of metal that you don't want to scratch, but you're just trying to find a way to put an engraving on it. Nah, let that shit be a masterpiece for now. The time will come where Oba needs to get serious, and I'm pretty sure it'll happen and he'll do it.
My question to you, 2 weeks into this whole thing, am I crazy to think that Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar is the best built matchup for WrestleMania right now?
1,000%.
It is, right?
Oh, 1,000%. Like the most fucking talked about and the most fucking polarizing one is, of course, Roman and Punk, but execution? Oh, this has been a fucking home run and a triple for its couple weeks of inception.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff to start it off. I'm enjoying this, and it's really putting Oba on another level where I think they should stick the landing and have Oba win, but the work that they're doing to build this up is helping to put Oba on a higher level, where I understand where a lot of the people in the chat are coming from, where they like, I don't have hope. I think that Brock's going to win, because they're making Oba feel so strong in the buildup that it won't hurt as bad if he does lose at WrestleMania, but we all know it will hurt if he does.
I'm not entertaining that. I'm just not. I will be that fucking what they used to say back in like 2023 that gets major pauses. I would be that butthurt fan. Yeah, I would be that person that if this happens to my guy, he's gonna, if he just loses, yeah, I'm gonna be really, really fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
But he's like one of those guys that you literally, he's like an updated, elevated version to a degree of what Bobby Lashley was. Like that hope, that like, yo, that man is excellence. The problem with Lashley is he had no personality.
Yeah.
This man is full of aura. Full of substance, great character, great everything. Yo, fucking enjoy it, yo. Fucking enjoy it.
I believe that WWE is gonna stick the landing and they're gonna have Oba win. But I'm just putting it out there. You gotta be realistic.
Fucking Nancy's. Oh,
you gotta be realistic and understand that this is this company that we're talking about.
I'm talking about the one thing that I actually am hoping that really fucking happens, and I ain't trying to hear it. I don't give a fuck who wins between Punk and Roman. I don't give a fuck who wins between Cody and Randy. I don't give a fuck about any. I just want Oba to beat Brock. That's it.
That is only it. Yeah, that's the one that we need. We need that more than anything. But yeah.
Make your fucking voices heard loud and clear.
I agree.
Say that shit to your fucking. Say that shit to your fucking. Your tonsils hurt. To make sure that is what the fans and only what the fans want.
I'm not mad at you. But we got to bring up the other side of this, because I see people in the chat bringing it up, because Oba was the one chosen for Brock Lesnar, another guy who was thought of to be an option to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I make B saying, where's my man Gunther? And we got Dion who says 3 weeks with no Gunther. Are they really about to leave Gunther off of WrestleMania? The guy who retired John Cena and Goldberg, and he might not be on WrestleMania.
And AJ
3 weeks, no Gunther.
2 months ago. AJ Styles 2 months ago. And he's now in catering.
This is insane. This is booking malpractice at its finest.
That's why the fuck you think I'm trying to hold on to the one thing that's actually good? and you niggas, because most of the chat in here is niggas, so most of you niggas is trying to take that shit away from me.
most of this chat is niggas. That's crazy.
Fuck me. Yo, we see fucking diabolical, dumb, bad shit all the time. We're literally watching it in the main event scene. Fuck. And no wonder why you say black people can't have nothing nice.
Can't have nothing. Yeah, niggas can't have shit.
Yeah, niggas can't have nothing nice. Because even when you get something nice, we complain about it and talk about history.
Oh man, I'm hoping they find something for this, man. This is crazy. King Davion saying Jelly Roll got plans before Gunther. Let that shit sink in. Like, come on, yo. Jelly Roll got a plan for WrestleMania, but my man Gunther can't.
Jelly Roll's been on multiple SmackDowns in a row during WrestleMania.
I saw more IshowSpeed in this one episode than I've seen from Gunther in a month. We get a Dominic Mysterio vignette where he cuts a promo about his Intercontinental Championship matchup, saying that this match shouldn't even be happening if it wasn't for Finn Balor. He says tonight he proves himself as the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the king of the luchadors, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. He goes one-on-one with Penta in the main event of this show. We then see some clips of Logan Paul at a recent flag football event where he sacked Jalen Hurts and got into it with Tom Brady some more, teasing the Tom Brady appearance on WWE TV. And then finally, we get the World Tag Team Championships up for grabs in our opening contest. Not the World Tag. It's a non-title matchup, actually. The Usos, Jimmy and Jey, versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory of the Vision. The opening matchup started like 25 minutes into the show, which seems about right with WWE. They went to a commercial break like 90 seconds into this matchup. Nothing even happened, so it was what it was. We returned from break, and Michael Cole gave a quick mention of the recently passed away Dennis Condrey of the Midnight Express. We then see Jimmy fighting back from being isolated by Logan and Theory, and he makes the hot tag to Jey Uso. Jey comes in. He's a house of fire. He goes to the top turnbuckle, but the turnbuckle is exposed by Austin Theory. This leads to him going to being crotched by Logan Paul on the top rope, but then the music of LA Knight hits. This causes a distraction for Logan and Austin Theory. Theory and the referee are facing the entranceway. Logan Paul grabs his brass knuckles and is about to use it when LA Knight attacks him from behind and shoves him into the ring steps. He then takes the brass knuckles. He passes it over to Jey Uso. Jey Uso doesn't even try to hide it as LA Knight is trying to get the attention of the referee. He just goes over and cold-cocks Austin Theory right in front of the referee with them, causing a disqualification. We get basically LA Knight and Jimmy Uso were trying to basically be like, why the hell you did that right in front of the referee, man? We could have got the win. Like, what are we doing here? But Jey Uso is crashing out. He looks like he's about to leave with LA and Jimmy when he sees Logan Paul checking on Austin Theory in the ring. So he goes back into the ring and he cold cocks Logan Paul as well, punching him out with the brass knuckles. This match went about 7 minutes and we missed half of it because of commercial breaks. This fucking sucked. That's my thoughts. What did you think?
What you said.
Yeah.
I have nothing for this match.
I mean,
yeah,
I was like, well, Jey kind of looks stupid here, and I was like, why is this always 3-on-2 with the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision? It always makes them feel like the heels, but no one wants to cheer for Austin Theory or Logan Paul.
No one cares.
Also true. No one cares about the World Tag Team titles, including Jey Uso. He would mention
they actually brought him to work this week.
Yeah.
First time seeing those things in about a month and a half.
Kind of true. Yeah. Good point. A couple of minutes later, we go backstage and we see Jimmy thanking LA Knight for his help earlier. Knight told Jey he could have tried to hide the knucks a bit and could have got away with it. Jey wasn't about to hide anything. He says, "What we hiding everything?" He says everyone had to get got. Knight understood how he felt, but then he says that he's starting to sound like Roman Reigns. Jey was tired of hearing this, so he left. And Jimmy politely warned LA Knight to watch his mouth when he spoke about their family. Why does it feel like WWE is trying to reheat their nachos on the whole Jey is starting to act like Roman storyline from back in, what was this, like September, October of last year? They were doing that story?
This only matters when Roman's involved.
They only matter when Roman's involved.
I mean, yeah, you corrected me, but yeah. That felt like that was the emptiest warning on the entire show. Because no one cared. Oh my God. Jay's going to snap on the Vision. Oh, they on to something now. Nigga, they've been fighting for a year. I know it hasn't been an exact year, but it feels like even longer than that.
Yeah, it's closer to a year than it's not closer to a year. Old Nutty saying, besides retiring people, what has WWE done with Gunther? They don't truly know how to book him. They've either had him win titles or retire people. That's the two ways they've used Gunther in his entire WWE main roster run.
They don't know how to use him. Or they just put him in the ring with Dragon Lee.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. And removing masks from luchadors. That's also what he does.
Like, everyone's occupied, apparently. Apparently.
Crazy. King Potato says LA feuding with Logan Paul again is hilarious.
Is it?
I mean, I'm not laughing. I'm just like, why?
You see
why are we still doing that?
You see how we're reacting to this segment? There's nothing funny about that. It's an actual complete waste of all of our times. The fact that we're still talking about this is actually disgusting me.
Yo, that would be crazy if Gunther had to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
This is getting worse, guys.
But then we got during the ad break, we hear from El Grande Americano and Los Americanos. El Grande, Bravo, and Ryu were interviewed by Byron Saxton talking about his matchup last week with the original El Grande Americano and him stealing the Reina de Rey's sword on Saturday at AAA. He says that he will get revenge on the original El Grande. He says the next time that they face after disrespecting the Mexican culture and Mexico, he will take his mask as well. So it does seem like we're going to get this El Grande versus El Grande, mask versus mask at WrestleMania. JJ's having a good time, y'all. He's having the best time. Up next, the man, Becky Lynch, is here. Becky enters and immediately gets on the mic. She questions the fans booing her while they cheered AJ Lee, who abandoned them for a decade. She understood taking breaks. She says she's taken a couple of breaks. She took 10 months off, but not 10 years. She took time off because the fans got tired of seeing her succeed, winning world champions, main eventing WrestleMania. She went home to her family, to people who appreciate her daughter, and the love of her life. When she came back, she didn't go after the world title. She instead went after the Intercontinental Championship and turned it into the most important and most interesting women's title in all of wrestling. She was damn proud of that title and what it represented. Now AJ Lee pranced around like she deserved that title. Lynch tried to go home and take a break with the people she loved, but when she went home, her daughter, her greatest accomplishment, was singing AJ's stupid lighted up song, skipping around the house and flipping her hair like that Jersey scum. It's almost like her daughter didn't realize her mom was the greatest women's wrestler of all time. And it's not just me saying it. Other people say it. Sports Illustrated says it. Bleacher Report says it. Meanwhile, Lee's greatest accomplishment, greatest claim to fame was that she mastered the Divas era. Well, I murdered the Divas era. She put a stake through its heart and ripped the wings off the butterfly belt. This brought out, light it up, light it, light it, light up the sky. The women's intercontinental champion, AJ Lee. She runs out, but Becky bails into the crowd. Lee tries to go after her, but stops short. She grabs the microphone and stands on the announce table and says that Lynch liked to fight dirty because Lee walked her like a dog every time they entered the ring together. Lee figured Lynch wanted to get embarrassed again, and she was okay with that because maybe that would finally get Becky out of her life. Maybe she would make Becky tap out on the grandest, biggest stage of them all. Lee wanted to show why she was the best generation of her, the best wrestler of her generation and Lynch's generation, and maybe even the next. She was your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler and Lynch's daughter's favorite wrestler. Lee gave Becky exactly what she wanted, an intercontinental title match at WrestleMania. Lee, you get Becky who responds and says that Lee fell right into her trap. WrestleMania was her domain. She recalled the last time that AJ competed at WrestleMania. It was 11 years ago. And then the next night, Lee walked into the office and handed in her resignation. She says that she would save her the trouble this time by ending her at WrestleMania. So it's made official. AJ Lee will defend the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 42. I thought this was probably the best mic work from Becky in the 2026 version of this feud. I thought she was good here. She had a message to deliver. I like the promo work. Her talking about her daughter being a fan of AJ was funny. And this was more of the 2025 top form of the heel character of Becky Lynch. Less of what we've seen from her in 2026. The weeks off helped her to gain back that edge on the mic, it seems. But AJ Lee was fine last night. She wasn't like that much better like Becky was on the mic, but she was fine for what she needed to accomplish here. But I think this matchup needs a stipulation to make it feel bigger than what it felt like going into Elimination Chamber. What did you think?
I think I'm just glad that Becky Trump seems to have died. I'm very glad about that because I was getting very tired of that very, very quickly. Yeah, this was a much better promo from Becky, in my opinion. She tried to make this match and title mean something with a story. And then the anger of her daughter singing and dancing and skipping to AJ Lee literally in front of her mom. Like, so it was, it's like, yeah, you could actually envision that, like, the person you don't like and your child is doing all the things that your biggest adversary does as a signature. And this is your child. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too. I'd be pissed the fuck off too. Yeah, like you said, AJ was fine. AJ, it wasn't nothing earth shattering, but nothing that derailed the promo in any way. Decent exchange for the two of them, and I do agree, like, it needs to have something added to it to kind of put some meat on the bone. Because they kind of shot their shot at Elimination Chamber, so it just feels like a basic rematch. So hopefully something else just happens to make this a little bit bigger. This is a monumental match for Becky Lynch, though. Because if Becky Lynch doesn't win this match, What the fuck does she do?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
You can't lose an Intercontinental Championship match and then start going for the Women's World Championship. That don't work like that. So is Becky Lynch going to be getting matches and promos in programs with Ivy Niles? You might as well just retire.
Yeah. Like Becky has to understand that you do have a prominent spot here and you have lowered yourself to try to put over the likes of Maxine Dupree for too long and an AJ Lee that is lesser than what she was 10 years ago, and understandably so. She hasn't wrestled in 10 years, so I don't expect her to be as good as she was in the 2010s, but you are basically letting the final years and the star power that Becky Lynch still has, and you're giving it up to kind of build up this legendary name from the past who, I'm sorry, Becky's just better than. She's better than AJ at her peak, and she's still better than her right now. So I don't think this is the right use of Becky. And no, it's not a gimmick, King of the North. He says we need to stop. We need to end this Becky good gimmick SP3. It's over. She is still good. She just is stuck in a feud. She's been stuck in feuds with people that are so much lesser than her, and it's hurt her as far as a character work, as far as on the mic, as far as in the ring as well, where she was putting on great matches with Lyra Valkyria and Bayley last summer. Now she's been having to deal with Maxine Dupree, who's green as goose shit, and AJ Lee, who's rusty as I don't know what reference, rusty as like an old fucking car. Like these are two different ends of the spectrum where you're forcing Becky Lynch to try to make things good, and it's just too much on her.
Honestly, and obviously, I don't know if they'll actually do it because of, of course, with her being married to Seth Rollins, if they're trying to keep couples together, Becky needs to get drafted to SmackDown in the worst way. Like, she needs a fresh batch of people to work with, because she's not going to work. Every time they show flashes of her and Asuka, they never put them together. She's apparently not going to do any type of work with Stephanie Vicaire. It's just so off the cusp of what should be given to Becky Lynch that they might as well just move her. Because no more mid-card feuds for Becky Lynch after this. No more of these, no more of this bullshit. Like she's been in this mid-card scene for literally the entire, about a full year. Because when she came back for WrestleMania, she was in a tag match, won the tag titles. Yeah, it's actually been a whole year that she's been in the mid-card scene.
Yeah.
And that Becky's better than that. Becky's better than that. And it's now starting to sink into people that, Becky isn't that good. No, it's that Becky has been placed in a position to try to elevate some of these women, which she has done a good job with, like Lyra Valkyria. She's kind of spun the block back with Bayley a little bit. But if you keep losing these mid-card matches, what are people going to now perceive you as? It's too long. The period is too long.
Yeah. Agreed. We got a super chat donation here from our boy Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, add WrestleMania 31. AJ last appeared and wrestled in a tag team match with Paige. What are the chances that Paige reappears at Mania 11 years later? I mean, they could do that. Maybe you have Paige interfere on Becky's behalf, because Becky and Paige have their own history where they were in a group together with Charlotte Flair when Becky first got called up to the main roster. So maybe you have something like that. If you want to have Paige come back to face AJ Lee in a feud upon her return to WWE, you could have Paige basically help Becky get the win at WrestleMania.
All I ask All I ask of this, if they bring back Paige, there never better be a point in time where they make Paige a heel. She is one of the worst women's heels ever.
Damn.
She is an awful heel. But she is a great babyface. She is an awful heel. I'm sorry. She isn't. Please, just do not make that woman a heel. She cannot be a heel.
Okay. Fair.
Nobody's worse than Eva Marie. Stop it.
And King of the North, no, she didn't elevate Lyra into the main event, but that's WWE's fault. That's not Becky's fault. And Lyra felt like a main event future world champion going against Becky Lynch last year. Stop it.
But I think that's what I don't know if that was a compliment or sarcasm.
Oh, it was sarcasm because he put the laughing emoji and
wow. I didn't even see the. Oh wow, that's great. Hey, Lyra Valkyrie is a somebody now because of Becky Lynch.
Yeah, she is, and they could have done much more with her coming out of that feud, but it's WWE for you.
Listen,
that's just
Lyra Valkyria is heavily responsible for her downfall after that feud. That Becky Stompers promo fucking killed her. The shit that's in our intro, yeah, that promo fucking nuked her.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right there. But next up, we get
Becky for that. Becky didn't tell her to come out with some blue platforms and call them Becky Stompers and do a fucking twirl and spin shit. Whatever the fuck that was.
Derek White and Joe Mazzulla of the Boston Celtics were in the front row, and they get a big ovation from this Boston crowd. Then we get Javon Evans going one-on-one with Grayson Waller with Kofi Kingston in his corner.
Boy,
Waller bouncy. We start off with Javon getting the better of Waller in the early goings. He was in firm control outside of Waller, briefly taking control during the commercial break. Waller got some offense in after the break, but Evans was able to get the advantage back with the German suplex out of the ropes, and then he hits a leaping knee strike. Waller knocked him off the top rope and then hits this basically throwback version of the Unprettier, which looked awesome. He used to do it in NXT as well. Waller went to the top rope, but Evans was able to catch him. He scaled the top ropes, leaped off the top rope, and hits this great looking super Hurricane Rana. He then finishes off Waller with the OG cutter to pick up the victory, getting the 1, 2, 3. You had Kofi at ringside reacting to all of this, looking very impressed with Javon here as he beats his friend Grayson Waller. After the matchup, Kingston told Waller he didn't get involved because he'd rather Waller try to win than get disqualified, but still he is showing that he is favoring Javon over Waller here. This was a good showcase for Javon, especially his high flying with the dive to the outside. He did a dive off the barricade, the super Hurricane Rana, and then the OG cutter later on in the matchup to pick up the victory. Later on in the show, we hear from Javon Evans during one of the ad breaks, and he brings up that he's on a roll right now and that the crowd is feeling bouncy. He's asked why he hadn't accepted Kingston's offer. Evans respected Kofi, but wasn't interested in being the next Kofi Kingston. He wanted to be the real OG and the first Javon Evans. He had dreams and goals of his own, and he wanted to be a champion and had his eyes on tonight's IC title match. So it seems like they're pushing Javon towards getting the next shot at the Intercontinental Championship. We'll see if that happens. But what did you think about Javon versus Waller here?
Y'all know how I feel about Grayson Waller, right?
Yes, we do.
Well documented. This actually was not a bad match. This actually was pretty decent. Because that boy bouncy. Yo, Javon Evans in Penta at WrestleMania should slap.
Yeah.
Should. If this was any other place in the world, that could be a match of the year candidate. But this is the WWE, where every spot and picture matters. I would love that. Love that if that happens. Because it's like, how can you not like Javon Evans? How can you not like this guy? And the fact that it's like he's getting better in the ring.
Oh yeah, he's only 21. He hasn't even scratched the surface.
Right? It's scary to think that he still has untapped areas. He's doing things that fits him. I love the we outside shit. I love that we outside. He is so him. And
he's authentic. He's authentically Javon.
Him. And that's why I love it, yo, because he's not trying to be like, he's basically an exaggerated version of who you would probably see outside.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see. I love it. We outside! I fucking love that shit, bro.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Shit is good. That match wasn't bad. Hopefully, they get that guy off fucking TV soon, but
we get ad break promo with the original El Grande Americano, who spoke to Byron Saxton during the break, and he said that there was only room for one Americano in this town, and he says that he is willing for a rematch against the El Grande Americano 2, so he can claim himself as the Uno Americano. Just keep this shit in Lucha Libre AAA. Like, how many times I gotta say this shit? Keep that shit over there. Keep that shit in Mexico. Backstage, we hear from Paul Heyman, who approaches Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. Heyman wanted him to schedule a matchup at Madison Square Garden next week for the World Tag Team Championships, with the Usos defending against the Vision in a street fight. Pearce says that he liked the idea and he'd think about it. Heyman was about to flip his wig because Pearce didn't immediately agree, but he calmly said he realizes he was like, it was not a good idea to upset Pearce, so he says, okay, thank you. Heyman was about to leave, but Pearce told Heyman to go to the ring. Heyman didn't know why, so Pearce reminded him that he wanted time out in the ring to address Seth Rollins. Heyman didn't want to anymore, but Pearce told him he had to do it and to do it now. After Heyman left, Pearce says that he won't miss Heyman when he's gone, which led to Paul Heyman coming out to the ring. This was after WWE reminded us that they announced that Dennis Rodman is now part of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2026 coming up at WrestleMania weekend. We hear from Paul Heyman, who comes out to the ring. He says that he was having a bad night, not just because he had to appear here in Boston, but because there was no one left for him to hide behind. Bronson Reed was injured. Braun Breaker would not be back anytime soon. Lesnar had already left, and Logan Paul and Austin Theory were half conscious, so Heyman was all alone. Heyman had a stalker, a psychopath who calls himself a visionary. Despite the character Heyman portrayed on TV, he said, I'm a man who's been pushed too far. Heyman knew Rollins felt the same way, which meant WWE wasn't big enough for the two of them. That wasn't a challenge for a match because he obviously didn't stand a chance, but he wondered what choice he had left. Heyman invited Rollins to the ring to finally put him out of his misery, and out came a masked man. I wonder who this is. He appears on the announce table. Heyman acts like he doesn't even see him, but the masked man eventually reveals himself to be Seth freaking Rollins. Heyman finally sees him and acts all shocked. And then 4 policemen show up around the announce table. Heyman smiles. Rollins smiles too, realizing that this was Heyman's doing. Heyman announced that he had a restraining order placed on Seth Rollins, and Rollins was in violation of that. If that were true, Rollins would also be made aware of the order, so he wouldn't be caught off guard. So, yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. As the police escort Rollins away through the crowd, we get Heyman, who starts talking trash about Rollins. He says Rollins would be fired and go to jail. His wife would leave him and marry half of the locker room. What the fuck? Someone would call Child Protective Services, and Heyman would adopt Rollins' daughter. And he says he would be a much better father, and that makes Seth run away from the police. He sprints to the ring, and he comes into the ring to deck Paul Heyman with a single punch, despite not being cleared, apparently. Police ran in after Rollins. They eventually handcuffed Seth. Pierce joined the police as they marched Rollins to the back, while Heyman sat in the corner, smiling with his evil grin, knowing that he got the better of Seth this week. Even though literally that is the storyline of the main event segment is you punch me, but I got the better of you, so I'm going to laugh. And Heyman did it before the main event segment. I don't think the Vision is doing anything good on Monday Night Raw as of late. This was like very low-hanging fruit style promo from Paul Heyman. I felt like there's a lot of stuff that he can say to Seth and a lot of story that they've built up over the last year with their relationship and building the Vision together, which they're not even going to. Like, why are you talking about Becky Lynch, who's a heel on this show, by the way, marrying half of the locker room and sleeping with half of the locker room, I guess, and then making reference to Seth's daughter, which was just referenced in a previous promo that was a lot better than this one. Heyman, he always is going to deliver his promos well. This was just shitty material that he's dealing with. And the Seth Rollins Vision storyline feels like one of the worst stories going on Monday Night Raw to me right now. I did not like this segment, if you didn't know. What did you think?
This shit was trash. All of it was trash. Heyman's statement, the angling, Seth Rollins having 3 masks on, Seth Rollins being made aware of his restraining order when he shows up to the arena in front of the live audience. Then he walks away and says all of these things about getting fired. So you're going to call Child Protective Services because now Becky's a bad mother too? And marry half? This was so bad. What was this, 1991?
Yeah.
This was bad. And I'm glad it barely got any reaction when Paul Heyman was talking. Because that... And then he's able to evade all 4 officers.
This police sucks.
Of course, coffee and donuts, so they can't run. And he gets a hit. This was bad. Like, golly. It happened. This was bad. if you actually listened or paid attention to this shit sucked. Like, really bad. Suck.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to go for here, because Seth doesn't come across as like this valiant badass babyface that I think they're trying to present him as when he's punching a 50-year-old, 60-year-old man. Like, that's the only guy that he can get physical with is a 60-year-old man. That's the only one he's willing to punch in the face. When he's surrounded by anyone that is actually a competitor, he has to have his masked man as protection. And then Heyman is so much, is like, dude, you are one of the greatest promos of all time, but you are just increasingly proving how washed you really are in 2026.
So Seth Rollins got his hands on the non-wrestler of the group twice.
Yep.
When he is surrounded by allies.
Yep.
And it's going to lead to nothing. Seth isn't fighting anybody at WrestleMania, apparently.
Unless I think Braun Breaker, they reported yesterday that he was training at the Performance Center, so it feels like he's going to be back in time, but it's not going to be announced until probably next week, at the earliest.
This shit needs something, because this shit was awful.
Yeah, this was trash.
Anyway.
2-pack of ass. This was a 2-pack of ass. This is not this. I feel like the Paul Heyman promo, it worked in like 1998. It works in 2003. It even worked in 2013. But this promo in 2026, it just fucking sucked. Fucking sucked. The whole vision angle is one of the worst creative things that fucking Triple H has done in his whole regime.
And you know why it's this way? Because Seth he's got a boring character outside of wrestling. So that's all they had to bring up.
Yeah.
Was that. So there's nothing anyone got on Seth that could actually make him mad besides bring up that dumb shit. Mm-hmm. And it was delivered very stupidly. And I just don't like when you get checked into a building, or if you go anywhere, you're made aware that there is an order of restraint against you.
Yeah. And
the person is in the same building. So he just comes out. And then he gets the news delivered to him from the table.
Yep, apparently. Stupid shit.
This show is stupid.
King of the North says, genuine question for the people who watch these shows. Are they still airing clips from Will Hobbs' interview? How much more acclimating does he need to do? No, they have stopped airing the interview because I think they got new episodes of the Stephanie McMahon podcast. And as far as it's acclimating, I think they're holding him off until after WrestleMania.
Yeah, he's going to be a part of the new season. The new year for WWE. He's not. There's nothing for Will Hobbs or Royce Keys. There's nothing for him for the next 3 to 4 weeks. You won't see him at all. He will more than likely debut on the Raw after WrestleMania or the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
Yeah. We got our girl Chrissy Love in the chat. Sis saying, "Pack it up, please." With the Queen's emoji. Yeah. This
and thank you. And thank you. And I think that's her shaking her head.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. We also got King of the North, who asks a question for SP3. Did Becky turn on the Vision with Seth on TV, or was it just inferred when he turned on Seth because she was in the group? The week after the Vision turned on Seth, she had a segment backstage where basically she cut ties with the Vision and she warned Heyman that Seth would come back and take him down and the rest of the Vision down. So she was the prophet who sent the message from the visionary that he was coming to take down what he created. But that was months ago, and they don't even try to remind us of any of that. Thankfully, I have a good memory.
Yeah, a little backstage promo, and of course it led to nothing.
But then we get Cole announces the crowd for the show was 13,340 in TD Garden. And then we get tag team action. Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, going up against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. We get the baby faces made their comeback after the commercial break. Valkyria hit Asuka with a fisherman suplex before Bayley hit a flying elbow drop for 2. Then we get Bayley was frustrated and tagged out, but Asuka face planted Bayley with a German suplex. Asuka and Sane double team Valkyria before Sane hits a double foot stomp off the top, while Lyra basically holds on to the top rope. She's not even in the Tree of Woe. She just holds on to the top rope like a fucking moron as Kairi hits a double stomp, but Bayley was able to break that up. Bayley eventually suplexes Asuka onto the announce table. She went for a flying elbow drop off the barricade, but Kairi was able to pull Asuka to safety. But then Lyra comes through the ropes and hits Sane with a drop kick to the face. She then knocked over Asuka in the process as well. She then throws Kairi back into the ring, hits the Nightwing, and gets the 1-2-3 as Bayley and Lyra pick up a key victory here, gaining some momentum. After the matchup, we get Jackie Redmond comes into the ring and she asks Bayley and Lyra about their victory. Bayley says that they were feeling pretty damn good after beating one of the best teams in the world. Valkyria said that Nia Jax and Lash Legend knew that they can beat them, and that's why they haven't showed up back here on Monday Night Raw. Bayley challenged the champions, the Irresistible Forces, to a tag team title match next week in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, which of course got plenty of boos from the Boston crowd. So Bayley has to say, Bayley and Lyra are going to win the tag team titles. And it felt like we got canned cheer because the crowd was like, yay. And she's like, okay, that's a better way to end this promo. This was a fine matchup, but the crowd did not give a fuck about any of this. This was fine technically. They worked hard, all 4 ladies. Decent enough, but the crowd did not care, and the only thing they cared about was Bayley mentioning Madison Square Garden, which they booed. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with the crowd. I didn't give a fuck about this either. They're so much better than the match that they had. Yeah. This was a generic TV match that was just there. Good on them to get the win, but my God, she had to talk afterwards. Oh my God, was that? It feels like this is a theme of this show, because this promo also was fucking awful. Like, it's like everyone that picks up a mic during this bridge of time is absolute dog shit. Like, golly. Like, it felt like it was only like probably like a minute, but it felt like a 10-minute promo. Oh, like the whole, oh my God, they're not so tough and all of this. And like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just get to what you want to ask. Issue the challenge, and you know what? Good on y'all, Boston. Like, you the fuck you gonna say loudly in the world's most famous arena at Madison. Bitch, you're in Boston, dummy.
That was a mistake.
No, that was stupidity. Like, you're in Boston. And told him, oh yeah, we're gonna go to New York next week. Now y'all get the B grade match. The championship match is gonna go happen in New York.
Y'all get the build-up matchup, the build them up for the championship match.
Sure. All right. This show is in a fucking cliff right now.
Yeah, this show has not rebounded from the opening segment again for the second week in a row. We get a guy who's gonna be on this show more than Gunther has been in the last 3 weeks. IshowSpeed. He approaches a Penta backstage ahead of his Intercontinental Championship matchup. He's a fan of Penta, and they know each other from their appearance in the Royal Rumble last year. He wanted Penta to show him how to do his Penta walk. So he does it with Penta, and he looks absolutely ridiculous. Then Dragon Lee comes in, and Penta introduces him to Speed and says that they're friends. And Speed says, "Oh, you're a dragon? Well, I'm a dog." Woof, 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 woof. Then he leaves, and Penta speaks to Dragon Lee. He says that thank you for the matchup last week. We showed what Lucha Libre is all about. And Penta told Lee that if he could have a rematch whenever he was ready, they shake hands, and Lee wishes him good luck on tonight's matchup. They had nothing better to do with IshowSpeed. He was better. He's much better in the next segment that we'll talk about with him later on in the show. But yeah, Penta walk. That's when we did the whole. We did that. We did Javon Evans segment, and then I think next was after that they had IshowSpeed with Adam Pearce next. He spoke with Adam Pearce. He said he was all excited about tonight's show and all the big stars that was there. He talked about being excited to see CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and then all of a sudden, who would appear and say or put his name alongside all those major stars? Danhausen. And he gets one of the biggest pops of the whole night. He even does the Hulk Hogan cup in his ear as he hears the big pop from the live fans. Danhausen was impressed with IshowSpeed's social media following. He says that he has 180,000. He's like, no. 180 million. Danhausen checks his phone and says, "Oh yeah. So what I think is, I want a piece of this. You give me your login, and we make we do the IshowSpeedhausen, and how does that work?" And Speed tells him no. So then Danhausen says, "No, are you turning me down?" And Speed says, "No, yes, that's what I'm saying. No, you cannot have my login." So he says, "You know what you just won? You are cursed." He points at Speed, and Speed says, "Curse? Curse? Curse?" He vanishes, and he asks Pierce, "What the hell does that mean?" And he looks very concerned that he is cursed. This was the best segment since the opening segment.
And this segment was bad.
IshowSpeed can't act for shit.
I guess this is what's happening.
Danhausen has gotten more TV time than Gunther. We're just going to count all the people that are getting more TV time than Gunther on this show. It's kind of ridiculous at this point.
Yeah. Ivy Now's had more matches than Gunther in the past month.
You know what? You're actually right. We got King of the North who says, notice how Danhausen didn't take 8 weeks to get acclimated to Fed television. Nope. He is one of the most popular guys on the show.
This doesn't make the segment any better.
Nope. We got Old Nutty who says, are we sure Bailey to AEW would be good? No, we're not sure, but it's better than what she's doing in WWE.
You still talking about this?
Chillin' with Say says, I'm surprised Speed wasn't immediately with Danhausen from the start. They really want this Penta walk to get over. I mean, it's over for Penta, but I don't need other people to do it. I'll be honest. We also got Chillin' with Chase who says the WWE spamming Danhausen, but it's working. My girlfriend loves this goof.
Hey, apparently they love him more than Gunther too.
Yeah, WWE loves him more than Gunther. Cody Rhodes. They showed the clip of what Randy Orton did on SmackDown this past Friday, and then we see that Cody Rhodes will have his first interview since the betrayal of Randy Orton this week on the Pat McAfee show. Well, on Wednesday, actually, on the Pat McAfee show at 1:05 p.m. Eastern time. So we will hear from Cody Rhodes for the first time. What do you think about Randy Orton and the fans refusing to boo him on Friday Night SmackDown?
Because people's just going to admire this man right now. And even when he does heel shit, it's like, this is what we want to see. Like, this
is actually what we wanted, Randy.
Yeah. Like, we want you to fuck people up. Like, we don't, like, what he did to Matt Cardona was amazing.
called him an indie nerd and a mark-ass stooge.
Oh, yeah. That's perfect dialogue for this time of day right now. Like, no, like there's almost nothing that he's gonna be able to do at this point that's gonna cause him to be a full out heat heel.
Yeah,
people loved it when he fucked Cody up.
Sure,
like he only got like a little bit of booze when he said that his smile was all empty and blah, blah, blah.
He didn't even get booze there. They put canned booze in the video package to make it sound like he got booed.
So fucking ridiculous. Oh, good Lord. Thank God I'll be one of these shows.
Hey, you're gonna have to talk about SmackDown on Saturday.
Unfortunately. At least Romeo is aware of next week that I have next week off.
Oh, you told him?
Yeah, not okay. Yeah, because just a little. This man has the worst communication timelines, bro. I think he was just up. And
no wonder
he was just up and not, I guess, sleep. He inboxes me at like 3:00 in the morning and was like, I'm free if you want to take the day off. I get up, I'm like, nigga, this is at 3:00 in the morning, nigga. I'm like, what world? I don't even know what world I was in at 3 in the morning. But I was like next week though, because I gotta work next week. So, all
right.
So he you gotta just give him a reminder probably, because he probably don't even remember that conversation.
You're giving me the heads up, and you're giving the people the heads up. That's all we need. We appreciate you for that. But we shall see. We'll see Romeo next week on the show. But backstage, we get an emotional Asuka who told Kairi saying that they had lost because of her, and that if she cared about their team, she would make it up to her. Asuka then left, and in came Io Sky, who got a nice pop from the live crowd, approached Kairi and told her that she deserved better than this. Asuka then called for Kairi to walk away, and in came the Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez. She confronted Io for getting involved in her matchup with Stephanie Vicaire last week. Sky said that she'd do it again. So Rodriguez challenged her to a matchup for next week, and Io accepted. So it seems like we are going to get the recently reported Asuka, Kairi, and Io in some type of matchup, but I don't think that a lot of fans are realizing they dropped this storyline like 2 fucking months ago. And now they're trying to bring it back because they have nothing else for any of these women at WrestleMania. This is not even like plan C. This is like plan D. I think you're muted. That's the vortex we're in. We're in the vortex.
Unfortunately, Io Sky has now entered this. She is now entering the bum vortex next week.
This is what happens. This is what happens when your best friend leaves you to get a shot at the WWE Women's Championship.
It was like, goddamn, out of all the people for Io, they fucking give her Raquel? It's like, oh my God, dude. I was like, you know what? As long as that bum is away from Stephanie for at least another week, good.
No, it was not reported 2 months ago. It was reported like 2 to 3 weeks ago that this was the reported matchup. But I'm saying what we watching on TV, Mick Carvel, what we're watching on TV, they dropped this storyline 2 months ago. They dropped it. It was Io and Rhea beat the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and then these ladies have not interacted with one another or not faced each other in any matches for the past 2.5 months. And now they're bringing it back. They're reheating the nachos again.
It's just
I don't care about reports. I'm talking about what we are watching. We review Monday Night Raw every single week for the past 3 years. What we are watching, I know for verbatim. I have notes. I have everything, but they have not referenced this storyline on TV in 2 months.
And now Raquel's a part of it.
Yeah, you have to get through Io and Raquel
out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Like, where does she even come from? That's it. Io, Kairi, Asuka, Raquel. How? That's WWE in a nutshell for you when it comes to booking.
You should give me credit for this, King of the North. You should give me credit for that. I subject myself to Monday Night Raw. And I'm doing it for everybody. I'm watching Monday Night Raw so no one else has to.
And unfortunately for the entire Netflix era, I've been subjected to it.
Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan are out for our final matchup of the show. They come out, but then Stephanie Vicaire attacks Liv from behind. We get a full-on brawl between the two women who will battle for the WWE Women's World Championship. We get Vicaire who punches out Dominic Mysterio. Officials try to pull Vicaire away from Morgan, but Morgan takes advantage of that. She attacks Vicaire from behind and then tosses her into the video wall and the stage. The fight spills to the backstage area into gorilla position where they brawl some more. Liv slams Vicaire's back into one of the walls. She then throws her into a row of chairs. Vicaire comes in and she tackles her and then slams her hard on the floor in the gorilla position. They start brawling some more until officials pull the two women away. This was probably the most effective build to Liv versus Stephanie that we've gotten in the entire road to WrestleMania.
All I saw was that I was like, this looks like this is how they both like it.
Jesus.
Yo, the way they was slamming each other, I was like, yo, they both like this shit rough.
Can't take this nigga nowhere. Damn.
Yo, she splatted Liv in the fucking
Yo.
gorilla room, bro. I was like,
you heard that? You heard that shit? Like that shit was like splat. I was like, oh shit.
Splat. Like, god damn, she used to that shit.
Yo, you're crazy for that. You're crazy, sir. It's like I saw that. I just said, oh, she likes it rough. This pervert. You hear this guy? This pervert over here.
Yo, listen, I'm just saying what many people are thinking. I just got the courage to say it.
You do. I commend you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we do. We need to call on Negro Buck. Negro Buck needs to give us a JJ disclaimer. Chrissy got a disclaimer. Jimmy got a disclaimer. Where's the JJ disclaimer?
I mean, the fact that I haven't had a disclaimer in fucking 9 years. Really, I've been saying things perfectly PG for the entirety of my time in True Hill Heat.
Never. That's a nasty guy, JJ. Oh, his alter ego. I don't need a disclaimer. I'm the politically correct one. I'm the one that has to deal with all the people who need disclaimers on this show.
All I'm saying is that I bet you the minute that shit popped, that shit came out of my mouth, how many people thought the same thing?
I mean, true, but you didn't have to say it. There were
this shit is called True Hill Heat.
This leads into Dominic Mysterio challenging Penta for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. They were about to do in-ring intros when Dom attacked Penta from behind. The referee checked with Penta before starting the matchup. Dom's idea didn't work because Penta immediately cut him off and hit some offense. Hits a super kick. Dom came back with a drop kick, suicide dive into a tornado DDT as we went to commercial break. Penta mounted a comeback after he came back from break. He hits a flip dive to the outside, hits the Penta driver, but he gets a close 2 count. Sets up for the Mexican Destroyer, but Dom is able to reverse out of that and hits a Michinoku driver for 2. Dom went for the 619, but Penta cuts him off with the super kick. Penta was distracted by the JD McDonough, who he hits off of the apron, which leads to Dom hitting a drop kick to the back, and then he hits the 619. He goes to the top rope for the frog splash when the music of Finn Balor hits. Balor making his return for the first time in 2 weeks since the Judgment Day turned on him. JD McDonough runs up the ramp and he tries to cut off Finn, but Finn gets the better of him. He launches him into the stage. He throws him over some equipment. Dom took too long coming off of the top rope for the frog splash after seeing Finn. He tries to hit the frog splash, but Penta is able to get his knees up and gets him into a small package to get the 1, 2, 3 and retain the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Penta celebrates, he leaves the ring, and then Balor comes out down the ramp and he goes after Dom. He hammers down on Dom while JD McDonough then comes in and tries to come to his safety, but Balor wipes them both out with a dive. Balor went after Dom again, but JD was able to save him this time again as Dom was able to escape through the crowd, but JD was left alone. Balor hits him with the shotgun dropkick and then finishes him off with the coup de grace to get his revenge on his former protege while Dom was watching on from the stands. Balor stands tall as his music hits and he gets a measure of revenge, but not his complete revenge as Dom was able to get away. This was solid. I wish they would have. The matchup was fine. It wasn't as good as their matchup where Penta won the title. I wish they would have with the post match. The post match was the solid part about this. I thought it was a good return for Finn, showing off his kind of babyface fire against both members of the Judgment Day. But I wish that he would have either pointed to the sign or said on the mic that they're having a match at WrestleMania. I thought this was a strong enough angle to set up the matchup for Mania, but I guess we got to wait till next week. What did you think? You're muted.
They saving everything for the garden.
The real garden.
Again. I mean, I'm going to keep it a buck. This Penta and Dom match was pretty whack.
Yeah.
This was not a good match. It was way too short.
Yeah.
Like, it was way too short. Like
all the matches on this show were less than 10 minutes, less than 9 minutes.
Yeah, like this match was not good. And it was just because of how short it was and like pointless shenanigans that led to nothing. Finn Balor cut the match extremely short too. But the aftermath was pretty cool. Like he did get like a little bit of hint on Dominic. A little bit of get back to Dominic, but not what he wants. And then, of course, JD, the fall guy. The guy that is supposed to have escaped Finn Balor and the guy that is supposed to have freed himself from the Finn Balor shadow got his ass whipped by Finn Balor. So, yeah, like, I especially when Dom got away, that Finn was going to point to Mania. I thought he was going to point to Mania at that moment. But Boston, you niggas don't get shit, B.
It's so true. Like they just said, no, Boston, you ain't getting shit tonight. We saving everything for MSG. MSG's getting the hard push for
the
Mania.
Real garden.
The real garden. The world's most famous arena. We got Shirt King the Goat. He says, I think what could happen is if Roxanne costs Liv the match, I would have said Raquel, but I don't see Liv winning clean. And what the fuck are they going to do with Gunther? We're about to be in April. I don't see Roxanne. I think Roxanne's going to be out until after Mania at this point, unless she's coming back for her and Raquel to be involved in the tag team title scene. I don't see a reason to rush Roxanne back.
Unless she literally comes back at Mania.
Yeah, that too. They have done that before too. Chuck Berry saying this was a good enough and effective enough segment for me. I'm expecting Finn to face JD sometime soon before Dirty Dom. Maybe it's Finn versus JD next week in Madison Square Garden.
The Garden gets everything.
The Garden
gets everything, not you Boston fuckers. Fuck Boston.
We're gonna get so many thumbs down from people from Boston because of you.
In case you didn't see it, let me just make sure it's right. There we go. Yeah.
Next week,
fake garden.
Next week at Madison Square Garden, you got Brock Lesnar is live, Nia Jax and Lash Legend versus Lyra Valkyria and Bayley for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, Raquel Rodriguez versus Io Sky, and the Usos versus The Vision for the World Tag Team Championships in a street fight. And then finally, the World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk. He is on his way to the ring when he runs into Jimmy Uso. Jimmy warns Punk that his brother is on a warpath. Punk makes his way out. Punk gets on the mic and he mentions Jimmy's words of warning, but he wasn't about to watch his words. It also showed once again that Roman Reigns couldn't do anything without his cousins. What he didn't know was that his cousins couldn't do anything without Roman either. Nobody in that entire family could do anything by themselves. Nobody in that family could be the heavyweight champion. He had them all shook. He says that Roman gave his entire family permission to go after him, and he hasn't seen not a one Samoan to come at him. Zero. He says, if you don't know, in case you don't know, we're in the shit talking business. They said awful things to each other to sell the big fight. You don't literally have to say that, Punk. That was his job. But these are just words, and he was tired of talking. Reigns did say one thing last week that pissed him off, and the whole crowd starts yelling, old. Punk said Reigns called him old. And he says it's not what he said, but who said it. He says, my young boy does not get to disrespect me and call me old. He asked the Boston fans if he was old, and they actually cheered and said some chanted yes.
A lot of people chanted yes.
Punk said if he told them that he wasn't old, he'd be a liar. He was old. He was proud of it. He didn't seem proud last week. If he were ashamed of it, he would be covering up his gray whiskers with Just for Men, just like Roman did. Ooh. He was middle-aged and crazy like Terry Funk. Unfortunately, no pop. He's the same age as Nolan Ryan was when he beat Robin Ventura. A Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura reference in the year of our Lord 2026. Goddamn, Punk, you are old. Gordie Howe played pro hockey until he was 52, and they called him Mr. Hockey. Well, Punk was Mr. Game 7. The older he got, the more pressure he felt. The more pressure he felt, the better he was. Age was nothing but just a number. He was old, but not insecure. He would never ask the fans to acknowledge him. Reigns has underestimated him. He dropped Reigns with one punch last week. This old man would tie him up in knots at WrestleMania. 20 minutes into their matchup, when Reigns was gassing for air and he had all the oil and jizz he covered himself in dried up. He said oil and jizz, ladies and gentlemen.
It's so bad.
Punk would hit him with a GTS and put him to sleep. Reigns would wake up and realize that Punk was exactly what he said he was, the best in the world, and he just got beat by an old man. Gunther didn't underestimate him, and he still couldn't get the job done. He said the same could be said about Jey Uso, because what the hell was Jey Uso going to do to him? Yeet him to death? As the music of Jey Uso hit.
Hey, yo!
Yes. Jizz and yeet him to death in the same promo. Jey comes out. Jey told Punk that he was old and that he had been hit in the head way too many times because he was still running his mouth about their family and about him. Jey threatened to fight him right here, right now. Punk said Jey never got his title rematch, so he offered him a world title match right now in Boston. The fans didn't react because they knew that was not happening at all. Jimmy comes out and he told Jey that he didn't think when he got emotional. He only saw red, and that's why they got disqualified earlier tonight. They had to focus on their title match next week. Jey says he didn't care about that. He didn't care about the tag team titles right now. Jimmy told him to let Roman handle this. Jey was pissed off about Punk talking shit and wondered why Reigns wasn't out here right now. But he says, I am though. And that hit the music of Roman Reigns. Reigns comes down to the ring. He stares down at Punk before turning his attention to his cousins. He says they had a tag match earlier tonight, right? Jimmy's like, yeah. And he told them, he says, I'm going to say this as respectfully as possible. Take your brother and get out of my ring. And everybody said, ooh. Punk advised them to stay because Roman needed the help. This led to Jey pushing Jimmy aside, and he goes after Punk. Punk drops Jey with the right hand with the microphone in his hand. Then Jimmy starts tussling and tangles up with Punk until Roman hits Punk in the back of the head with the Superman punch. Officials and referees come down to the ring to settle things down as Roman tells Jimmy once again to take his brother and leave. Reigns was about to leave too, but Jey told him, he says, Joe, he knew what he needed to do. Get him. After hearing Jey's words, Reigns turns around and he lands the spear on CM Punk. Roman didn't stop there as Jey is yelling at ringside, get him, smash him. He drove Punk into the ring post at ringside twice. He then lifts up Punk and delivers a shield powerbomb through the announce table, slamming Punk down, laying him out. Reigns then grabbed Punk by his sweater and screamed in his face as Adam Pearce yelled at him at the top of his lungs to stop. Reigns walked towards the back, knowing that he finished his work here, but the camera panned over to Punk, who was still down, looking up, and he was smiling, even laughing for more bloodline lore and more bloodline drama, more than the actual issue at hand between Roman and Punk. And I was much more interested in the battle of these two mega stars who hated each other, who had real life hatred that spanned over and was in front of the camera in that first segment that they had, to what it is now, where it's just them trying to play mind games with one another and not wanting to sell for one another. I said this earlier, but I'm reiterating this. That part, the story seems to have been lost in the midst of all these segments, and it's been a law of diminishing returns where it doesn't feel like the hot Wrestlemania main event that it once felt like. It feels like a vehicle for bloodline drama more than anything, and it just shows to me, it feels very much akin to 1999 when WCW brought back the NWO, reunited NWO Black and White and NWO Wolfpack, because they did not have anything else to go to. They ran out of ideas and had to go back to their old faithful, and that's what this creative team is doing with the bloodline now being in the mix of this storyline.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, and that CM Punk promo sucked. It was just overcompensating so much.
That's where I'm going. My God. This might have been one of the worst CM Punk promos I've heard in a long time. This shit was brutal. And then, one, the amount of lies he spewed in this promo, for one. And then, about a minute into the promo, he says, I'm tired of talking, and then the nigga proceeds to talk for another 8 minutes. Like, what? You just said, I'm tired of talking. We've done a lot of talking. But then you proceed to talk about how Roman pissed you off in form of talking. About the shit that no one is fucking taking seriously, as one of the other good things that the Boston crowd did was make fun of this old shit. Because, like, he spent so much time talking about him being proud of being old and talk about how I feel. Ask me how I feel.
Doesn't it feel great to be alive on a Monday night in Boston?
My God. And like, it just felt so empty. And yeah, he's not bothering you. But then, oh, let me tell you about what he did say that pissed me off. Which one is it, nigga? Is he not bothering you, or did he piss you off? Which one is it? Like, you literally said this in back-to-back lines, that he's not bothering you, but let me tell you what he said that pissed me off. Like, you sound like a female in this promo. Like, what are we even doing? And this is no disrespect to females, but in this person, you're supposed to be this alpha male, but you sound like a bitch. Like, you sound like an insecure old bitch in this promo. And the fact that when you talk about all of these other people that failed and all of these other people that you've overcome and blah, 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 whatever, who gives a fuck? And then you bring up Jey Uso, and then you fucking say something that you talk about, what's he going to do? Yeet all over you? Like, you...
Yeet
like,
me to death.
Bro.
Yeet me to death.
You're going to yeet you to... Dude. This was bad. This was bad. And pause bad. And hypocrite bad. And pandering bad. And then he's talking over the music of Jey Uso, which is like, oh, was that the bad guy thing to do with some whatever bullshit? And then the stuff that was supposed to happen minutes ago was when Roman comes out and attempts to dismiss the Usos, and then Jey for whatever reason, because CM Punk is in the corner. Oh no, he needs your help. He's this bad gaslighting. Like, the gaslighting didn't even make sense. Like what the fuck? Like, what's happening here? Like, now Jey, you're acting as if Roman can't handle Punk by himself, and then you get dropped for it. Then whatever the fuck that little scruffle between Punk and Jimmy was, and then Roman does the right thing and proceeds to polarize him, and then the fucking bum laughs at the end of the beatdown. Now he laughs at the end of the beatdown like he's mankind. Like, now all of a sudden, CM Punk is unfazable. Like, you can't hurt CM Punk now because now he's old and strong. He's old and strong now.
I'm in your head now.
Like, you just got your ass whooped. And talk about he's in Roman's head. Nigga, you just got fucked up, B. Like, is this how people react in 2026 when you get your ass whipped? Is like, yo, if my man SP3 fucking terrorizes me and beats me to a fucking pulp, and then I get up and I'm laying there in fucking pain, laughing, saying, oh, I'm in SP3's head now. I'm in I look like a bitch that just got my ass handed to me, but I'm laughing. What the fuck was that? Pussy! That's a pussy move. I'm in his head. No! You're not in his head. You just got fucked up. Like, how are you in someone's head? How? You just got your ass handed to you. But you're laughing because you think you're in someone's head. You old champion. Mid-life crisis.
Yo, this is overconfident. Like, I was like, the funnest part for me of the entire WrestleMania build has been seeing on my timeline these very pro CM Punk fans and accounts versus the very pro Roman Reigns accounts, where they can see all the flaws. Like, the Roman fans can see all the flaws in CM Punk. The Punk fans can see all the flaws in Roman Reigns, but neither side are willing to acknowledge the flaws in the characters of their guy. And to me, as someone who has to watch this objectively, I'm like, they both suck. They both are not good people. They're both not likable baby faces. Like, I said this earlier, like Austin and Rock, that is how you build to a babyface versus babyface matchup at WrestleMania. we've seen it before in other times, like Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. That was kind of before where we had weekly television like that, but they've done babyface versus babyface matches so well in the past. This is not it. These are two guys that feel less cool every time they interact with one another, where Roman Reigns comes off as this gaslighting narcissist who won't take any accountability and can't even tie his shoes without his family. CM Punk comes off as an overcompensating old tryhard who lacks accountability as well. Neither one of them come off as very appealing baby faces or the cool megastars that they were in the first promo. It's been a law of diminishing returns since their first promo, and we're just trying to get back to that. And it really axes the question of what Chuck Berry says here in the chat. Is 3 weeks enough time for WWE to get this build back on track? What do you think?
Oh, no, this shit's already off the fucking rails. This shit's already off the rails. What happened to CM Punk last night should have happened to him the week after he said the line about Roman's dad.
Yeah.
That version of what I said, you need to pop the fuck off, is what should have happened right after that. Punk should have gotten his ass whipped right after that. But no, they wanted to do an apology. And apologize, Oos. Apologize, Oos. And then you're old. You're old. And then you get to what should have happened 3 weeks ago. Like this is what was pissing me off about Roman. Is that why the fuck are you so cool, calm, and collected after what that man said about your dad? And then you want to fuck around and play mind games. And the thing that I liked is that he finally got there, but you didn't need Jey Uso to get you there. Your hatred for CM Punk should have fucking been there from the moment you told him that you hate him and after what Punk said about your dad.
Yeah, it comes off more like he got physical with Punk more because Jay told him to than Punk saying something about his late father or his established hatred for Punk. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you got it, but god damn, that shit happened the wrong way. And that's why the Punk segment, oh my god, if you re-listen to that CM Punk promo, you are gonna realize how fucking awful it is.
It's so bad.
What it is that Punk's delivery is so strong is that you might think that it's a good promo. But if you listen to the words, holy fuck, that shit was terrible.
Reading it back made it worse for me. I'm like, my god, this promo sucks.
You're gonna talk, this is the shit talking business, and I gotta sell the fight. Okay, fourth wall, let's just break it out of nowhere.
It's like, dude, you don't need to say that. That was so unnecessary. Nowhere.
Like, there was no lead to you saying that. Oh god. Just revisiting that in conversation. This shit was bad. The promo was bad. The Roman beatdown, the actual beatdown part was good. But everything that happened prior to that was not good.
King of the North saying, was this promo better or worse than Punk Life, the rap shit he did against Cena last year? I think that was worse. Punk Life was worse because that was definitely like, oh my god, you're not cool anymore. You're fucking corny as fuck. Like, Cena beat your ass, did your pipe bomb promo on par with you, and then you tried to do what Cena does, and you just came off like an having no rhythm, no type of style, no type of like that grit that CM Punk has been known for. You just lost it completely with that promo. This one, it did more damage to Punk's perception of being the cool old guy, and he came off as very insecure about being old. That's he tried to make it seem like he's okay with being old, but you literally overreacted last week and punched a guy because he called you old. You tried to come up with a reason for that and then overcompensated it for 10 minutes in this promo.
Yeah. This didn't work. This just didn't work. And honestly, that Punk Life promo, you know what that Punk Life promo reminded me of? You know when you used to go to meetings and you fucking have that weird ass white boss that comes in and tries to do a karaoke song to try to look cool and get the people fucking loose, to get everybody loose and get ready to ask you some work questions after he does his little funky song. Yeah, that's what that was. Is that, all right, guys, we're about to talk about selling all of these products, but before that, let me give you this karaoke, baby. Hey, let's get the juices going. Let's show you how excited I am. Oh God. The best thing about the whole thing was the Punk Life Tron. That was the best thing about the whole thing.
It was the entrance. The entrance was the peak.
Yeah.
Man, tough times. Hopefully it gets better next week. I mean, the last time JJ took a week off, it was a pretty decent episode, if I remember correctly. Was it?
I think the last one.
No, it was in February. It was in February. No, never mind. Oh, yeah, that was the last time that it was good.
Yeah.
When you were off. But you took off in February, and that wasn't good because no episodes in February were good. But yes.
Oh yeah. I popped in and clarified that it was a really terrible show.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, during vacation. Yeah.
And yes, we should mention it was announced today. Oh, Nutty, thank you for the reminder that Sid Vicious is finally getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Congratulations to Sid. It shocked me when I saw that on Triple H's Twitter because I would have sworn that Sid was already in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's just more WWE malpractice. Thank God Demolition's at least alive to fucking get inducted.
Yeah.
Because they should have been in that bitch 20 years ago.
Agreed.
But no, it's so petty because we had a lawsuit.
But we have made it to the end of another edition of Rated Raw Review. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. If you haven't already, comment down below. Let us know what you thought about Monday Night Raw, and especially the final segment with Roman Reigns, the Usos, and CM Punk, and the build overall to WrestleMania 42. Let us know in the comments down below. If you're with us live, you know the deal. It's time to rate this show. Give us your match of the night, your moment of the night, your MVP, your LVP, whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give last night's show? For me and Top Guy JJ, for the March 23rd, 2026 edition of Monday Night Raw, in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs down across the board from both of us. Out of 10, I'm going to give this one a 5.5 out of 10.
Yo, and the only reason this show is even getting a 5 is because of Femi and Brock Lesnar.
Correct.
That's literally the only reason why it's even getting that. If it wasn't for that segment, this would have been a fucking 3. This show... And you know what? I did like Javon Evans. Evans in this show too. So, you know what? I'll match you. I'll go 5.5, but it's still thumbs down.
No, it's not a good show in my regards. Let's go match of the night. I'll give it to the Javon versus Grayson Waller.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm going back to a 5. No, I'm going back to a 5. I'm going back to a 5. Holy shit. The match of the night involved Grayson Waller? Oh, I might go to a 4.5. Holy shit. Oh my God. That is such a default choice.
It is. It really is. Then moment of the night, JJ. What you going with?
Oh, moment of the night was for me, Oba fucking outdueling Brock once again.
Oba dropping Brock. Yeah, that's definitely the moment of the night. MVP for the show. I'm gonna go with Oba Femi.
I'm gonna go with Oba Femi too.
LVP for the show. I'm gonna go with CM Punk. And I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns. And I will go with Triple H.
I'm gonna go with CM Punk and Triple H. Roman said very little words. Roman was about that action. So I'm not gonna. CM Punk just completely fucking nuked that, and the fact that Triple H allowed him to do that, and for the fucking show he produced. Good Lord.
This is not a good one. Not a good one at all.
Yeah, you know what? I'm loving what the chat is doing because the chat is actually influencing me. I got to go to a 4.5. I can't see a 5 on this.
He went from 5 to 5.5, back to 5, and then to 4.5. People are giving it like a 3. This is like one of the lowest rated shows in regards to our chat.
The fact that we're sitting here saying the match of the night was a Grayson match.
My bad. Paul Heyman is another LVP for the show.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're right.
Paul Heyman too.
Right. Yeah, damn, there's a lot of LVPs. There's so many.
Yeah. Punk and the two Pauls. Yeah.
Punk and the two Pauls. I'll go with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Big time.
Yeah.
God.
All right.
So that's what I mean. This show was funny bad. Like this was not a good show, but damn, there was enough to talk about.
It was a lot to talk about, but we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to drop the thumbs up on the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. We'll have our schedule up for the rest of the week. I'll be back live with you 1:05 p.m. Eastern time on AE Ramble with Jimmy Macaram, reviewing AEW Dynamite this week with Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland 2. Want to thank you to all of you who joined us live. Thank you if you're watching us on demand, and thank you to Top Guy JJ as always for joining me. Good sir, let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they will see you again.
On Instagram, you can find me at TrueHill_Top Guy JJ, and on the YouTube channel, I will be back this Saturday for True Hill Heat for my monthly appearance for March, getting close to the end. So Saturday, I'll be there and be there or be square, y'all. You know, remember that shit from a long time ago? Next week's Rated Raw review, I will not be on. Got a 1 week notice to get Romeo's ass back on the show to get his monthly appearance in there. Apparently, he's taken my True Heel Heat schedule and has applied it to this. So I will not be here next week. I will see y'all in 2 weeks for Rated Raw review.
Indeed. We will see you for then. JJ will be joining us on Saturday, 10:05 a.m. Eastern time. We're back on Saturday for the flagship podcast. So he'll be all 4 of us, hopefully. I think Chrissy Love will be back as well on the flagship, as well as True Draw Josh, as always, talking about this week in the Graps. Check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like our NJPW New Japan Cup 2026 final review with myself and J News. Check out True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment, where we had the latest True Headphone Heat, where me and Stag King talked all about 50 Cent versus T.I., the beef that has been talked about in the hip-hop world. We broke it all down, listened to the diss tracks as well. That's over on that channel right now, so go over and check that out. But as always, y'all know the deal. Check the community tab for a schedule for this week, and I will see y'all on the next one. For Top Guy JJ, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 112 on a Warpath for the March 23rd, 2026 edition of Monday Night Raw. We are signing off until next time.
Oh, God. Midlife crisis. This story is killing me.